Hey YouTube land, Tycondrius here doing another action figure review, and today I'm having a look at the G.I Joe Classified Series Cobra Shadow Tracker. Now before we get into the figure, we'll have a quick look at the box. So he comes in this non-window style box packaging. This is still the plastic free packaging that they were doing. I do know that moving forward in some of the newer stuff that will be coming out after this recording, if you're watching this many years down the line, then it won't make a difference, but they will be reverting back to the kind of plastic window, or at least a window. There is a QR code on the side of this which should house information about Shadow Tracker. He is 108 in the series, which is interesting to see that they've done at least a minimum of over 100 figures so far. I don't know if the 108 does include the Target exclusives or any of the other exclusives, so there could be more than that. So there is an image on the back of the box, shows him to be 6.4 inches or 164 millimeters in height. He comes with some accessories. He comes with an image on the side. Now opening the box, you're treated to one of the lockers which stores his accessories, which has the Cobra logo, the 108 stamp and his name on it. And then the figure itself is housed in one of these cardboard trays which has an image of the figure behind. To be honest, I'm not a big it makes no difference to me. I mean, an opener and the additional packaging stuff really doesn't make much difference to me because they get chucked, unfortunately. I know some people are probably might collect it, maybe with the weapons storage locker piece, but it is what it is. So that is his box. So he does come with accessories. So I'll go through his accessory count, if I can get his hand off his bow without breaking the wire on it. I have managed to stress it a little bit while getting it in and out of his hand. So, oh, and he also has this. So the base figure comes like this. He doesn't have either of these two masks on. He actually has two. So you can, in theory, have him hold everything that he comes with, or not hold everything, but store everything on him. He does come with this additional kind of wolf style mask, which is really cool. It kind of reminds me of General, was it General Tran? What was his name? The guy from Willow. It has that kind of look to it. So it just clips over his face. It does on the inside have the detailing for his face as well, so it's a snug enough fit. It's very similar to how they did the mask with Zartan. You know, he does come with his more traditional, more iconic looking kind of, well, in the original lineup it was more of a hockey mask. This is more of a bio skull. So if I bring up my original figure, now this isn't 100% original, his waistcoat is different. I was never a big fan of the big puffy jacket that he came with, so I swapped out for one of these modern ones. But you can see the same, he has that same translucent greenish yellow mask. Now this is glued on the smaller figure's face. It was removable, but you had to pry it off because it was glued in place. But he does come, you can see the dreadlocks, and he is a darker skin tone than the new one, but for most of it he is kind of a similar figure. And readjust my light there a second so you get a better look at him. Now I'm going to leave his face plate off just for the moment. So he comes with a composite bow, and there is this piece on it that's removable. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a silencer, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because I don't think you can put silencers on bows. And it doesn't seem to have, I'm not a bow guy or know much about bows other than that this is a composite bow, because of the extra, like a standard bow is just the arch with the wire on it. This has all the extra trimmings to give you extra strength when pulling back on the string part, and they probably have specific names for those pieces. on bows, so I could be butchering that. But he does have that composite base. Then he comes with a kukri kind of looking knife, which is a really nice curved knife. Very similar to the one that he came with on the 3¼ inch or the 4-inch figure. He comes with a hatchet, which is again more unique hatchet. It's not reused from the... I thought they might just cop out and reuse the one that came with the Range Viper, but it's not. It's actually a different one and more unique to him. He comes with a not scabbard. What's the thing for arrows? It comes with the storage for the arrows. Now, 3 of the arrows are sculpted in place. There is one that is a separate piece, so that you can actually make it look like he's firing it. It does have to go in a certain way, I believe, otherwise it gets a little jammed, but it does slide in theory. Of course, it won't do it on screen. It should slide nearly all the way down, just to keep in line with the other ones. Let's see if I can do this a bit. There we go. You can see it goes at an angle, so it just has that extra bit of step above it. There is one peg hole on the back, and this is where things kind of get a little bit interesting or weird. So you have this holster piece on the side, which I'm assuming, because it's hard to see on the box, I'm assuming this is for his kukri knife, because it doesn't seem to, it can fit here, but it seems to fit better here. And then the bow, this weird thing, whatever it is on his bow, can fit in here, or you could probably put it on this side, have the knife sticking that way, but this looks better, more, it looks more natural. And then the way that this is supposed to go in, it goes in like that and then folds down. So there's a kind of a slot here for the handle to go through. There's a handle on this, and it folds down like that, so that can be stored. There is a peg hole on his back, and it kind of sits at an angle because of the way his hair is. Because his hair, the dreadlocks kind of flow off to one side, so you can have him holding it like that. And then for his axe, there is a leg holster for that. So he has a holster for this, or for me knocking his back piece. So he can have that traditional style mask, and this is where you can kind of get him to store everything. Now, it's not a perfect fit, but you can kind of rest his other faceplate up on his shoulder a bit. It will fall off quite easily. He just has to get it at the right angle. So let me see if I can get him to do it. Of course, I did have him doing it all along, and then it's just a matter of getting that sweet spot. Of course, trying to do it on screen and in front of the camera probably won't do it. Now, it's not there's no instructions or anything to say that it is the way it is. Actually, if you angle the arm out a small bit, might do it. Of course, it's sitting there. It kind of sits on it, so if you have him just displayed, you can put it on his shoulder, just so it kind of matches up with the other shoulder. Like the minute you touch it, it should pop off, but no, it doesn't seem to want to pop off this time after me fiddling around with it, trying to get it on the bloody figure. So all in all, you can kind of store all his gear on him. Again, see, slightest little touch, it will fall off. It's not really designed to go on there, but it is a kind of storage option. There is no other place. I would have liked that they could have done what they did with the Target Firefly's backpack, where you could store some of his bits in behind. They did that with Lady J as well, and I think they had, if they'd made this backpack a little bit bigger, you could have probably made a slot so that could fit into it, or the other one could fit into it, and he could wear that at the same time. So taking his backpack off and his gear off, we'll have a quick look at the figure. So he is quite nicely sculpted. Now, he will get into some issues with articulation, most notably his left leg here. He has this kind of tiger print belt piece with a rope belt on it, so you have to kind of move it out of the way really to get any kind of movement. But if you're to move the leg forward, it will get in the way, because if it's normally kind of like that, it will kind of filter into his way. He can move both his legs forward. He has the double jointed knees. He has the boot cut. He has the rocker ankles. He has cool flame patterns on his feet. He has kind of standard articulation for the upper torso. His ab crunch is hidden behind his waist jacket piece, and I don't see a join where it is attached on. I don't see any pouch or anything that's kind of hiding where it's connected. So in order to take this off, you probably would have to pull the figure apart. His other shoulder pad is attached up here, so there is a tab that kind of comes out from the waistcoat piece that attaches this on. I will probably say that over time this will be one of the most worn pieces that will probably break after shouldn't break straight away, but it will probably break at some point. He does have double jointed elbows. He does have a wrist swivel with a hinge. Now his gauntlet on one side has these kind of bone, they almost look like bone dart launchers, because there's like an indent where the bone is, and then it looks like something fires out of them. I could be wrong. The original figure didn't have any of that stuff. He just had kind of almost a high-vis jacket, which I do like. They muted it a small bit for this guy. His original one was really bright neon, whereas this one's a little bit more yellow. He has this kind of almost trophy rack thing on his neck. Now the idea behind this guy, and if you haven't got it from the overall look and design, is he's supposed to be kind of a homage to Predator, because that's the whole idea. I'm not sure if even in I couldn't say if he's turned up in comics. I don't know if he has or not. He definitely didn't have any cartoon or media appearance in the sense of like movies or anything like that. He was, I believe he was concept originally from the Pursuit of Cobra line. A lot of that line was kind of homage to other stuff. So the Duke, Jungle Duke from that line was basically Arnie from Predator. There was one guy that looked like there's obviously this guy that looked like the Predator himself, and then there's a few other kind of characters that kind of made there was the spirit figure from that line looked like Billy, the Native American, is that the right terminology now? The basically Native American character from G.I Joe. He looked like Billy from the original Predator movie. So you had that, and you have a pretty nicely designed sculpted figure. The only, oh yeah, he also has a bicep swivel, and arms can pop out that much. The only thing I say about him, that his leg on his left side is going to be slightly hindered unless you move this completely out of the way. Then it kind of looks a bit awkward in spots, because it is designed to be kind of slung over one of his legs. But other than that, he's not too bad. He does hold his bow. Now, getting him in a bow and arrow firing setup is pretty tricky. So from what I can see on the box, he's supposed to be left-handed, because he's holding the main part of the bow in his left hand, although it could be right-handed. The handle part of his bow, they depict him holding it in his left hand, and I have it backwards. Which way is it? To be that way. If I can get it into his hand. Come on. There we go. So the way they show it is kind of like this. He should have the movement to actually move it. Now, I'm not going to put that small piece on the front, but I will try and get his arrow into his offhand. There is this kind of loopy thing on the back of the string, but I don't think it's intended to hold arrow. The fletchings on the arrow does have it does extend a small bit out, and I'm not sure. The way they kind of show it is he kind of has his hand holding it like that. I think it's just resting on the bow is probably the best way to do it. You know, I'm having a fight with this thing, try and get it on it. The older one, I'm trying to remember if the smaller version of this figure actually had an arrow. I think it actually had a separate arrow as well. And again, they actually did his finger in the kind of that kind of style for the smaller one. In fact, actually, is this the same? Actually, yeah. I'm trying to remember. Is this actually the smaller one's body? It's definitely his head. I could be wrong, actually. I think this isn't... Actually, no. This isn't the body for this particular version. My mistake. It is his head, though. The body is actually that of one of the Vipers. I think it was a Viper. His body had grey. And he did have, like, padding on his arms. So... my mistake, just ignore the 3 3/4 inch version I showed off earlier. It's not the right figure. It does have the same head though. The body for the original one had neon green camouflagey kind of stuff on his pants, if I remember correctly. He had that neon green jacket. He had a grey top underneath, and he did have lighter skin tone. He did have a skin tone more close to this. I picked up the wrong figure because I can't find my original anywhere. So stricken that one from the record, and we'll just continue with this guy as he is. As you can see, he can slightly hold his bow and arrow thing if it's just resting on it, but for kind of, you know, to get it in kind of more traditional style arrow firing kind of poses, you will have to finagle it and work with it and get it to hold up right on the thing. But it should be doable. It's just getting that sweet spot for it to hold the arrow properly so it looks like he's firing it. So, is he a good figure? I think he is. I've always liked the design of this figure. Except for the neon stuff. The neon stuff didn't really make sense for a guy that's supposed to be like a in the jungle hunting kind of stuff. But I think the idea was he was able to cloak, so the neon stuff had no meaning for him, but I could be wrong. All in all, he was a really nice overall design figure. It's just the original execution for him was a little bit too bright and garish for my liking, even though I did like him. And this one's a little bit more muted, and I think it looks a little bit better. He does have a kind of feel of a mixture of something like Predator and Kraven the Hunter kind of thing from Spider-Man, so he has that kind of look to him as well. But all in all, he's a pretty cool figure. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And again, apologies for showing the wrong figure. This is the wrong guy. The head is right, the rest of him is the wrong guy. It was a custom that I made, and I can't remember where the original guy went. So apologies for that, but I hope you enjoyed the video as was. And as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.